Hey guys, it's Kat and welcome back to my channel. I've got swatches on my hand. What else is new? But today I wanted to sit down and go through my top foundations for oily skin because spending money on a foundation only to discover it doesn't work with your skin type kinda sucks. And in Australia, if it's used, you can't return it. So I hope you guys find this video helpful. Obviously, I have oily skin, just for reference. Now let's talk about some foundations. Okay, so my foundation coming in at number 10. You guys know I had to mention this. This is the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Foundation. This is a pretty penny. Probably the most expensive foundation I own. Now this is number 10 because it's not as long wearing as the other foundations I have to mention. But this is the foundation that looks most like skin that I have ever tried in my entire life. It has the most beautiful, natural looking finish. It does have light coverage though, maybe light to medium, but that's sort of stretching it. But I love it and it's coming in at number 10. Okay, number 9. Now this foundation would be higher up in my list if I wasn't convinced that this breaks me out, and it is the Kat Von D or KVD Beauty, I believe it's called now, Lock-It Foundation. This is full coverage. It has a matte finish and it lasts so freaking long, but because it is so long lasting, it is very hard to fully remove, and I'm pretty sure that's why this breaks me out. Okay, so just quickly, these foundations are all different colors and most of them are for when I'm fake tan, so I know this is gonna look a little bit ridiculous on me, but I just want to show you the foundations in action. Okay, back to the video. You only need one pump with this foundation. If you go overboard, it'll start looking cakey real quick. So stick to one pump and use a hydrating primer first to help spread the foundation because it does dry quickly. A few foundations I'm going to mention are like that, and the primer I like to use, well, there's a few I like to use, but my favorite is the Tarte Quench Hydrating Primer. So you want something that is hydrating without being oily, so that way you have time to move the foundation over your face before it dries. The next foundation, I know a lot of people love this foundation. This is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r Soft Matte Longwear Foundation. This has a beautiful natural finish. It's not super matte, but it's not like dewy either. Fenty has a huge color selection. I would say this is medium to full coverage. And whilst this is very long wearing, I do find it creases in my smile lines, and that's why it is number 8 for me. Foundation number 7, this is probably the oldest favorite foundation I have. This is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Liquid Foundation. It has a really beautiful natural finish. It's a light to medium coverage. It's got more coverage than the Pat McGrath foundation and a skin-like finish like the Pat McGrath foundation, but not as skin-like as Pat McGrath. But it's also like half the price of Pat McGrath. It is very long wearing. I do get a bit of creasing in my smile lines with this one, but nothing serious. And Makeup Forever also has a huge color selection for foundations. Foundation number 6 is the Tarte Face Tape. Now I really wish Tarte would just make like a giant bottle of their Shape Tape concealer, because I feel like that would be the ultimate foundation for me. And this is pretty similar, but it's not exactly the same. This is medium to full coverage with a natural finish. Again, I do get a little bit of creasing in my smile lines with this, but nothing extreme. It is very, very long lasting, and again, Tarte does have a lot of shades in this foundation range as well. By halfway already, I feel like this video is going to be very short, but oh well. So foundation number 5 for me is by Urban Decay. This is the Stay Naked Weightless Liquid Foundation, up to 24-hour wear. Now, you would think with a name called Stay Naked, it'd have like a natural skin-like finish, but this is very matte on my skin. So I do like to add a lot of highlighter when I use this. I'd say this is like a medium coverage, and it is definitely long lasting. Also, I don't have any creasing issues with this foundation. I think I'd wear this shade more if I had a shade closer to my fake tan shade. I find this foundation dries lighter than what it does look like in the bottle, which is weird because normally it's the opposite with foundations. But I'm not a huge fan of the like flat matte finishes of foundation these days, especially now that I'm turning 30 and our society likes to shun women over 30 because how dare women get wrinkles. Ridiculous. The foundation coming in at number 4 is the Nars Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. This has the most luminous finish of the lot, so it does give you that glowy effect without the use of like a hydrating foundation, because I find hydrating foundations just slide off my face. So I do really enjoy this one. It's got medium coverage, but you can build it up. This is the worst offender of my top 10 with creasing in my smile lines. But again, to make it into my top 10, it's not that bad. I also find this foundation is probably the, it's the second runniest of the lot. I find the Pat McGrath one to be the runniest, but then this one has got way more coverage than Pat McGrath. So it feels really, really light on the skin. Whew, we're getting into the top 3. The top 3 you guys will have seen on my channel all the freaking time. These are like my 3 foundations on rotation. So in at number 3, we have the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. It is medium but buildable coverage with a natural finish. I think when this foundation originally came out, there weren't that many shades, but now like Too Faced has exploded with different shades. I only get the slightest amount of creasing in my smile lines with this, and it's super long lasting and a really great foundation. Okay, the foundation coming in second, so I guess this is like the runner-up foundation, is the Smashbox Studio Skin Full Coverage 24-Hour Foundation. This probably has the packaging that I like the least in my top 10. It's like a squeezy tube, not a pump. I would really just like a pump. I always squeeze out too much. But the shade range in this foundation is awesome. They also have olive undertones, and I don't know if it looks like it on camera, but I have olive undertones because I'm half Maltese. This foundation is full coverage. You only need a teeny tiny little amount to do your entire face. You do need to use a hydrating base with this foundation because it does dry super quickly, and once it dries, it doesn't budge. So this foundation lasts a very, very long time on me. I do get the slightest bit of creasing in my smile lines with this, but again, like, it's basically irrelevant to me. I do find that this finish though is very matte on my skin, and like I said before, I prefer that semi-matte finish. But besides that, this foundation is freaking amazing and I love it, and I definitely recommend trying this if you don't like my number 1 foundation, which you all know what it is. Unless you are new here, you will know that my holy grail foundation is the foundation I'm wearing right now, is the Urban Decay All Nighter foundation. This is full coverage, 1 pump, does my entire face. I only used 1 pump on my face right now. You do need a hydrating base with this foundation though, otherwise it dries too quickly and then you can't blend it out, because once it dries, it stays in place. Not only do I wear this foundation all the time, but it's also the foundation I wear to festivals because it lasts so freaking long. I will say though, if you get excessively sweaty, the other foundations don't stand a chance, but with this, do not touch it when you're sweaty. And then once your sweat dries, the foundation will still look flawless. But if you touch it, it'll come off. It has a semi-matte finish, which is weird because I would have thought the Stay Naked foundation by Urban Decay would be the semi-matte and then this would be the matte. So yeah, what else can I say about this foundation? It's a high-end product, guys, so it does have a high-end price tag, but it's still like half the price of Pat McGrath. I have seen a lot of YouTubers hate on this foundation, but when I've seen them apply it, they've applied way too much of it. Seriously, just the tiniest little bit does your entire face. So those are my top 10 foundations I have tried in my lifetime. I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you guys have any questions about the foundations, leave them in the comments below. I try to reply to as many comments as I can. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. I hope you guys are staying safe and have a wonderful day. Bye guys!